We're almost halfway through the year, and during May, there were a lot of awesome GRs for New Balance. I'll cut the intro short because there are a lot of releases to cover in this video. I'm gonna start off with the Teddy Santis Season 5 releases that happened in May. First up, we had the triple release of the 990 V6 in the True Camo colorway, as well as two 993 colorways. You got the purple colorway as well as the chive colorway. All three of these are very solid GRs. The True Camo V6 was a very fire neutral tone GR. My favorite of the three, and really everyone else's favorite, was by far the chive green 993. It's a very loud shade of green and it looks really nice on the 993, and you also have a switch up in the mesh material in the mesh panels. The purple 993 was also pretty solid as well. Both 993s were definitely great releases for the upcoming summer season. Continuing on with the Teddy Santis releases, we had another 993 released just yesterday with the Sea Salt Black and Gum 993. This is by far my favorite GR of the month. I was able to cop one, so expect a review soon. I was surprised that they are still sitting in pretty much a full-size run. I thought they would have been even more popular than the Chive 993 and almost as popular as the V4s that released before the last drop. But regardless, if you really want them, they are still available, and it's a rock-solid, versatile colorway. Nothing too special about it. It's mostly a neutral tone colorway that I feel like is wearable year-round. It's gonna look good in the summer, and it's also gonna look great in the colder months as well. And of course, in May, you can't forget about Grade A. I, of course, already did a full review of Grade A 2024, so in this video, I'm just gonna cover one shoe that I didn't cover and didn't release during Grade A, and that's gonna be the Grade A Kawhi 4. Obviously, the Kawhi 4 is one of Kawhi Leonard's signature performance models, and this colorway is pretty solid. Obviously, it's gray, but you do have some really cool accents like the switch up of the N logo. You get the heritage red and white NB logo, as well as vintage accents around the shoe. I feel like it's one of the better Grade A releases, especially in contrast to the lifestyle models that released during Grade A. And next up is a new 3-pack of colorways for Made in UK models titled the Vintage Sport Pack. I'm just gonna go over all three colorways right now. Only one of them had an early release. The other two have yet to have their official release. It looks like the full official release of all three are slated for the middle of June, but as of right now, only the 991 V2 has had an early release. And there's also the same vintage sport colorway on the 1500, and just revealed today, earlier this morning, the 576. All three colorways consist of basically like a off-white or light tan upper, as well as accents of red and blue in the midsole, which is really cool. It's accentuated the best in the 1500 and 991 V2 since they have different rubber or gel pods with the midsole technology. And probably the best accent of all three colorways is the gum outsole. Similar to the 993 Teddy Santis, gum outsoles are actually pretty rare in New Balances, so it's really cool to see them bring in this awesome detail into 4 shoes this month. All three of these are very fire colorways. My favorite of the three is definitely the 991 V2. I think I might have to cop it early. I know it's not necessarily the hardest cop once it eventually comes out, but I feel like it's definitely going to be a very popular model, especially for the summer. Continuing the Made in UK GRs, next up we have two new 1500 colorways. We have a celestial green colorway as well as an orange colorway. You got hairy suedes of the main color, which is very fire. I think both of the colorways are nice. They're going to be great for the summer. Both loud colorways, which you guys know I really love, and both consist of what appears to be black and light blue accents, and I feel like it works well with both the orange and celestial green colorway. And next up we have two new 576 GRs. We have a latte colorway as well as a celestial blue colorway. The latte colorway is kind of like a light tan, light orange colorway with a darker orange N logo, and then the celestial blue colorway is a light blue with kind of like a neon green N logo as well as dark blue in the mesh. Just like the 1500s I mentioned before, these two colorways are also some really solid summer colorways. And this month it looks like the Made in UK models got got a lot of rock solid GRs. Starting off the collabs for May 2024, we have the DTLR 2002R Purple Noir collaboration. This is a pretty solid collaboration colorway for the 2002R. The main feature of this colorway is the Purple Noir metallic accents, which I think looks really fire. I think it has a great contrast up against the black and silver neutral colors. And then you also have a pop of neon green in the tongue, the upper of the toe box, as well as in the gel pods. It's yet another solid collab from DTLR and New Balance. And next up, we have two new collaboration colorways from ALD and the T500. The T500 is a retro tennis shoe. It's a pretty simple shoe. You got a hard rubber outsole and a low cut leather upper. These two colorways are the same as the first three colorways that came out earlier this year. It's just that they're navy and gray this time. They're both very simple shoes, nothing really wrong with them. They're just really plain in my opinion, especially for an ALD collab. And next up, we have a collaboration with District Vision on the Fuel Cell Super Comp Elite. District Vision is a performance running company that focuses on eyewear as well as apparel, so it makes sense that they're collaborating on a performance running shoe. There are two colorways, both of which are pretty simple. They're relatively monochromatic and have some small sporty and futuristic accents around both shoes. It's a fine collab, but it's definitely nothing for me. And next up, we have a collaboration between Foot Patrol and the 1906R. This is a very rock solid colorway for the 1906R. I think the colorway alone looks very fire. You got a combination of blue on the top in various shades. You got a white midsole, and you have a nice contrast of red in the gel pods of the outsole and midsole. That colorway alone is very nice. I really like the colors. I think they work well together, and it works nicely on the 1906R. But one of the coolest touches about this collab is actually the insoles. As you can see on the insole, you have a graphic of an x-ray of your foot, which is a very cool touch. It's hidden, so you're not always seeing it, but it's definitely a nice detail that I would expect from a collaboration. And rounding off the collaborations for May 2024, we have the Action Bronson 1906R in the Rosewater colorway. This colorway dropped earlier this morning, and it was a horrible release. I tried for it. I was waiting different hours, seeing when Action Bronson would release the password to the website as well as the actual release time. He never actually dropped the release time. Eventually, he posted the information on his Instagram, got the password, got the time. I entered the password the second the clock hit 8 a.m. and then the shoes were already sold out. I don't really know what happened, but it was a horrible release. Pretty much no real person was able to get their hands on one of the colorways, which really sucked because I was really looking forward to this colorway. I think this is a very fire collaboration. It has a combination of very bright and loud colors that surprisingly work really well together, and you have a change up in the upper. It's kind of like a translucent white mesh upper, which is very different from regular 1906Rs. It's just a shame that the release was horrible and we have yet to have a wider release, although I'm sure the wider release on NewBalance.com isn't going to be that good either. Starting off the reveals and leaks that happened in May 2024, we have a new 991V2 GR colorway. This is going to be the pink colorway. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory once you look at the shoe. It's just a pink 991V2 and it's very fire. I say this a million times, I'm going to say it again. New Balance always kills it with pink, and this shade of pink is very fire and it really works well on the 991V2. You just really can't go wrong with pink New Balances, but once you're able to get your hands on it, I'm sure it's going to be a very popular pair, especially during the summer months. And next up, we have the Jack Harlow 1906R collaboration. This is going to be Jack Harlow's first New Balance collaboration, and he's definitely off to a solid start. This is a very wild and interesting collaboration. The shoe isn't necessarily for me, but I have a lot of respect for it as a collaboration because it changes up the materials, it utilizes new materials not really seen on the 1906R. It has unique colors, as well as probably the most striking detail, and that's the interesting textile print on the upper. It's like kind of a floral pattern. I really like how he's utilizing what appears to be velour on the tongue and the sock liner, and it looks like the laces are also either velvet or velour as well. And then that all green midsole, outsole, and back heel cage is a very striking contrast to the pink floral upper. And then you also have some insole graphics, which are always a nice touch. Again, this shoe isn't necessarily for me. I'm not too sure if I really like the shoe or don't like it. It's a very wild shoe, but I'm gonna say it again. For a collab, I have a lot of respect for it, especially with some of the collabs we've gotten recently. I feel like collabs nowadays for New Balance aren't too creative or out of the box, and this Jack Harlow 1906R is definitely a nice breath of fresh air. Speaking of collabs that lack creativity and aren't that special, we have the reveal of the first 3 ML Leon d'Or 1000s. Yeah, just take a look at these. All 3 of these colorways, they literally just look like GRs with the MA word printed onto the front side of the shoe. There's absolutely nothing special about these. These are very boring, especially from ALD. There's no creativity to this collab. They're just really uninspired and boring. And rounding off the video, we have 2 new Stone Island 574 Legacy colorways. Stone Island dropped a 574 Legacy collab last year, and it looks like they're coming out with 2 more colorways, one of which is a dark green colorway, and the other one is called a light green colorway. I'm not too sure if these are the official names for the colorways right now. Both of these are simply just leaks, but nonetheless, the leaks provide a good look at both colorways. I think they're good, not great. Again, there's nothing too special about them other than the Stone Island logo on the tongue. It looks like the mesh is replaced with ripstop, which is nice, and it definitely does work well with the Stone Island brand, them being a performance-based clothing company. And I think both the light green and dark green shades of suedes look nice. I'll say it again, it's a good collab, not a great collab. Nothing too special, but nothing too bad to say about them either. And that's gonna do it for the May New Balances. What were your guys' favorite New Balance releases or reveals in May? I'd definitely like to know down in the comments. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials. Check out the Intelligence site for more New Balance content and guides. If you really love the video, please consider leaving a super thanks in the tip jar below. And thanks for watching.